Welcome back to Real Chill Conversations, everyone. And here we are again on another beautiful Sunday. It's pretty outside. Hey, Brenna.
Hey, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. And let's get into the topic today. I wanted to talk about expensive doesn't mean valuable, and that's the topic. Let's talk about something real because these are real conversations that we need to have. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie. For the past couple of days, I've been reflecting on this myself. Okay.
Yeah,
Um, so because I really feel like a lot of women have had to learn this the hard way, especially myself, for example. And not too much of myself because, like I have explained before, like lavish things and like nice things never wowed me from a man. And I'm just speaking that for myself. Yeah, I thought it was nice, but it was never like, oh, I'm gonna get with him because of what he's given me. So just because a man can afford nice things doesn't make him a good man. And I think a lot of young ladies need to listen to this today because, yeah, we need to talk about it. It has become a problem that society has made it to be per se. And I say society because now we have the internet, we have social media, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Facebook, all of these platforms where people actually get on here and, like, um, expose their life in Dubai or their trips or their lavish things that their man has bought. And, a lot of these things you see from celebrities, you know and it kind of trickles down the line when it comes to regular old people. And that is becoming a problem. And just because, like I said, just because a man can afford nice things to give you doesn't make him a good person, a good man. um when I was in my teenage years, I've heard, I don't know about you, Brenna, but I've heard, oh, marry a rich man.
listen, when I was coming up, um, both my parents went to college. They actually went to the same college, and they were in the same major. Um, they never told me specifically to go out and find a man with money. They told me that, whoever I wound up with should be smart and educated. Like they did place an emphasis on that, and they said the rest would come. So that's kind of what I believed. So just because I had a certain lifestyle and was exposed to certain things, I was exposed to both sides of it. So I knew what it was like to be able to have nice things, but I also knew what it was like to live a full life with people that didn't show you their love by buying you nice things, by buying you this and buying you that, taking you here, taking you there. Like my grandparents on my mom's side were very, very humble people. My grandparents didn't drive, so that was different. I thought it was so much fun to get on the train and get on the bus, to get on a cab, to get around, to go here and there. It was fun to go, get an ice cream. You know what I mean? It was nice to do those kinds of things.
Right.
So I think having that idea and that perspective kind of helped shape me and my thought process, and really being able to understand the difference between, people buying you things because they can, and like money really is of no object. And if they can afford to do it and that's something that they want to do for you, then they will. versus those that use it as a tool to be able to manipulate and control because they know that there's certain statuses and there are certain lifestyles that people want to accomplish and they want to achieve. They want to have that because they think that's going to make them a better person. And just because you have
Mhm.
money or just because you have a certain lifestyle doesn't necessarily mean that you're good and that you're, from the heart and sincere and genuine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I would always ask, like, I'm not gonna lie. I used to ask, why, like, why? Why should I marry a rich man? Like, money never, like, interests me, the way it do other people. I was more into how people treated me because, um, I think always kind of lack in a certain part of my life, like people actually showing me love, and stuff like that. So and this was like just me growing up from being a little girl. So money was never anything to me because I could get whatever I wanted. So I never really needed anything, you know. It was always more of the affection part. So I think me growing up into that, that's why I was never into, lavish things. It was always like, I need to know that you can treat me right. And I'm not
exactly.
gonna lie, I've had men come my way. Well, they will actually be like, I can buy you this, I can buy you that, I can take you on trips, I can do this for you, and try to wow me in those ways. But I would never give into those things because I it was like it was either something wrong with their personality or it was like a red flag, like right in my face. And I would be like, no, it just doesn't sound right. I could be the breadwinner and I can get with someone who makes less money than me. And as long as he truly loves me and treats me good, we in the game, baby. We in the game.
There you go.
So I mean, that's definitely never been something that I required in a relationship. I want my man to have a good heart. I want my man to have empathy. I want there's a reason for this. People who lacks empathy, I consider them a little dangerous.
Yes.
So not
Yes.
like it's just me, it's just my opinion. But to me, people that lack empathy, I consider them a little dangerous. You know, I look on social media all the time and I see all the beautiful trips to Dubai overseas. And, my man did this, my man did. Hey, Lily. Hey, Mohammed. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. And I just see a lot of beautiful things that men do for their women online. It's beautiful. The name brand outfits, the flashy lifestyle, that I got it energy, baby. Don't worry, I get it. It looks damn good online. Okay? But that's on the outside. It sounds like it sounds like security, doesn't it?
It
And
does.
right. And for a minute, it can feel good too to a lot of people. It could feel damn good for someone to be just giving you lavish stuff up and down. It can definitely feel good for some people. But
Yeah, I
for
mean it's
men,
it's it's people can get caught up in that too,
uh-huh.
if especially if it's something that you've not ever experienced before and you're young and you just, you don't have a whole lot of life experience. When someone comes and they love bomb you with all of these things and these lavish gifts and these trips to places and new cars and new this and new that, it can be very caught up in the rapture. You just like, whoa, like what's happening?
Yes, what's happening here? Like you're making me feel good. Wait a minute, you're the man of my life. You're giving, like I've heard this, y'all. Like I've actually heard it with my own ears. Like he's so good to me. He buy me this, he buy me that. Like he give me all his money and da da da. And then boom, something
Right.
goes wrong.
Something goes wrong and you're like, wait a minute, what happened? I thought he was the man and he does this for you. He does all these things. And I'm like, but my question is, okay, he does all these things for you, but how does he make you feel? How does he treat you when he's not throwing money in your face? Because that's really all that he's doing. He's just throwing money in your face.
And we gotta think about it. Sometimes some men throw money and lavish things at a woman's face just to keep them from talking or giving them any issues.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's an act of
So
control.
they may be doing their little thing, but you know what I'm saying? They're doing all these nice things to keep you quiet.
Pretty much.
Then it gets you to thinking, maybe this is what I deserve. Maybe what he's given me is actually what I deserve. But let me tell you all what I have warned, I mean, not warned, sorry, what I have learned along the way. A man can cater to you and still not respect you.
Mm.
He can still lie to you. He can still look like he has it all together and still be moving in ways that will leave you confused, anxious, and questioning even yourself.
Whew. Preach.
And I say this is dangerous too, only because now you have become his property. And when some man, like I stated just now, when some men feel like they have invested so much in a woman, when she tries to leave, it's gonna become a problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And this is the part I think that people don't post. This is the part where bad things happen, where bad things can happen when you're using people. So to me, real value is not on what he gives you, but in how he treats you consistently. That's my thing.
I agree with
And
that.
it's very dangerous for any woman to be out here playing and be with men. Thank you, Henry. Hey Lloyd, I'm glad you're in here. Um, it's very dangerous for people to be playing these games. Um, I just wouldn't recommend it. Just my personal opinion because it's too risky. Some people actually get out here and they invest so much in a woman that they feel like that woman now has become their property. Now you're property.
Yep.
I bought you.
Mm-hmm.
So now
I
you're
own
about to
you.
do everything that I tell you to do. And I had a friend like this that went through this, and it took her a minute to be able to get away from me. I'm talking about it turned out to be a nightmare.
That's
A
terrible.
nightmare. A nightmare for her. She couldn't even sleep at night. It's honesty, it's peace, not second guessing where he is or what he's doing. I had to sit with this because I have gotten distracted by the presentation before. I have. just me being real, having this conversation today. I had to start saying to myself, well, at least, well, no, I didn't have to start telling myself this. I did it anyway. I made up excuses. I start saying, well, at least he does this, or it could be worse, or he provides, so maybe I should just deal with it. Then I had to say no, because what's the point of living with someone that is going to provide for you if you're an emotional wreck? What's the point?
Right.
And I'm not going to say my situation was as similar as me getting lavish gifts and all of that, but it was like more of providing. I have to do stuff for myself. This is why I like to do stuff for myself, and I don't, I like when men do stuff, and nice things. I'm not gonna say I don't. I'm a woman, but I like to provide for myself. So the nice things that I want to do for myself, I pretty much do it for myself. If a man wants to add into that, then that's a bonus to me.
Yep. That's true. And it
So
means something. It
what's the
it
point of even spending money on you and you don't even trust them, you know?
yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, it's just, when you do something nice for yourself and you treat yourself and you reward yourself, you really appreciate it. And it just does something like you're pouring back into yourself. But when you're, accepting gifts and you're receiving different things, from someone just so that you can be like emotionally cold, not have any thoughts, not have any opinions, not have any ideas, for you to, basically shut yourself down as an individual and just be there to fill a role and play a role for this person and their wants and their needs to be catered to and to be taken care of. And they think the answer to all of that is to lay a bunch of money and gifts and things on you. And that's just not something that is of any value to me. The money factor, the gift factor is not enough for me to have to suffer in silence, and for me, from not to be able to have my voice heard and to be listened to. For me to not be vulnerable with the person that I think I'm spending my time with. I don't want to do that.
And that's with some women, Brenna, because I'm one of those. I was one of those that you're speaking about.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have the other type of women who do not care about what the man is doing, and he could be doing whatever he wants to do, but as long as he's taking care of her, he's bringing the bread home, he's giving her gifts and all, taking her around the world and all these things. They don't care about what he's doing, because as long as he brings the money home, we good. And I know
Right.
women like that too.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't say that those women don't exist, because they do.
They do. They absolutely do.
And they don't care about what the man is doing as long as he's doing what he's supposed to be doing at home. And that is dangerous too. That is dangerous too, because you have run into cases where these things are going on, and some men are able to go out there and have relations with other people and then bring stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, but babies, they make
Yep.
babies other places and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
society is actually accepting these things.
Yes.
Society is making it okay. And
Mm-hmm.
look, I'm not just putting this, I'm not going to just ring this on women, but let me say this. Man, man have a man has made, because I see a lot of men on social media saying, women, they just want money and this, that, and the other. But let's not forget either that some men put it out there as, I want this type of girl, I want this type of body, I want this type of. You made it seem too as what you wanted clearly for yourself, which if we put some people, I'm not going to say in categories. No, I'm not doing that today. But I'm just saying, men have made it look nowadays, some men have made it look like nowadays, let me see what I'm trying to say here without saying it too harsh, because I know how some people are. Um Men has made it look like it's okay. I'm going to say that. Like it's okay that a woman want a man, certain some women want certain men for money. And let's not play like men has not um displayed, some men has not displayed that, because no, they have. And
Exactly.
I'm here to say they have.
Mm-hmm.
They have really, really enhanced it, and they have, it's like overrated at this point.
Yeah.
So yes, men fall victim to, some women just wanting them for their money. Yes, that's true. But some women have fell victim for that, the same thing for a man with money. Okay. These this is not this is not winning to me. So when people be like, "Oh, we winning, we winning, we winning because, I have a rich man, or I have a man with money and he's doing this for me and doing that for me, I'm winning." That's a distraction.
I love that
Uh,
you use that word. I love that. That's exactly what it is. A
that's
distraction.
that's a distraction, y'all. But what I'm saying, money doesn't matter to that point, okay? Where you have to use somebody. Just in my eyes, it really doesn't. It's not that deep. And I'm not saying that money doesn't matter either, because it does. Now let's just be real, money matters, okay? Stability matters. But character in your heart matters more to me, because I don't want to be with anyone that says, "I'm going to buy you the world, but you still treat me like shit." That's just not me.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of young women, especially a lot of young women, and I'm not here to speak on nobody or bad about nobody. Really, this is just for learning purposes, because I'm learning in the process as well. But a lot of young women, they do heed to that nowadays, where he got money, he could do this for me, he could do that for me. And then they put themselves in a dangerous position where they end up being unalived. It can get that deep. It can get that deep. And money might not been, um people be like, well, why people will unalive people for? Just because, you know, money, because he had it all and he was giving it to her. Yeah, that is not an excuse to unalive anyone. It's not. It's really not.
There's no excuse,
But they
for
use it, y'all. They use
yes,
that.
yes. No
They
excuse, but
use
they use
that.
it. Yep.
They
No
use
excuse,
that
but they use it.
to give themselves the permission to. Who are you to unalive anyone?
Hmm.
You can't take nobody's life. You didn't give it to them.
Right.
But people is actually out here using these excuses like it's okay. That's why I wanted to talk about this today. A good man will make you feel safe without having to prove it with material things, with money. And I think a lot of us are unlearning um what the real idea of love is supposed to look like.
That's deep right there. That's really, really deep right there. For real. Mm, 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 mm.
Does it supposed to be looking like luxury? That's what real love look like?
I mean, it's, the fact that we have to put a price or a sticker label or an ideal that we have to accomplish and achieve this level because this equals this status. The fact that we have to even do that to make it seem like our love is valid and real is just so fake to me. I mean, that's just not something that I don't want any parts of that. And I don't know if that makes me the odd girl out, then so be it. But I don't want to live my life like that. I definitely don't want to live my life like that.
I don't want to live my life like that either. I don't want a man to think I can be bought. I cannot be bought. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care if you buy me a car. I don't care if you buy me a home. I don't care if you take me on a trip to Dubai, anywhere in the Middle East. Listen, I cannot be bought. My love is not for sale. It's not.
Nope, it's not.
I'm not for sale. I'm not property. I'm a human being. I have emotions. When I love deeply. When I get with my man, I'm going to show my man real love. Not this fake stuff that y'all have, some people got going on. I'm talking about you're going to feel it all because when I'm in it, I'm in it. When I'm in it, I'm in it. I'm not in it for my convenience. I'm not in it for money. It should feel like peace. I will be your peace and you will be my peace. So if you're in a situation where it looks good, but it doesn't feel good, pay attention to that because expensive doesn't mean valuable. And just because he can afford you doesn't mean he deserves you.
Yes. Yes. That was important. That was very important
And
and
those are my last words on that.
very, very valuable. Thank you for that. And thank you for this topic tonight.
Thank
Have
you for joining me.
Yes, and having this important conversation. Um, sharing your life and sharing, your experiences or, things that you go through or storytelling or whatever it is that we all do on social media, is part of how things are today, which is a lot different than it was, years ago before all these things came about and you really didn't know, what was really going on. You really didn't get a different vantage point and insight into other people's lives that we get today. um but it's just very interesting to see how many people have flocked to this side of luxury means better. Expensive means that it's great. Like all good in the hood over here because we got this going on, we got this going on, we're going here, there, everywhere trip here, trip there, and then 6 weeks later when we come back from this trip, then we fly out, we're going here. And it's like, that's all good and everything, but at the end of the day, when you don't have your things to keep you company, what do you have? What does your
Nothing.
relationship consist of that allows you to sustain it? What makes you happy when you're not in the presence of these things, or you're not in the presence of staying in a luxury resort, or flying on a private plane to your next destination for your shopping trip in Paris, or whatever it might be that you have on your agenda that you're going to take us through, in your Instagram reel or your TikTok video, giving us a tour of your yacht that you have for the next 10 days. I just say, at the end of the day, when you're not in the presence of your things, what do you have?
That's a
And for
good
that,
question.
hmm
And a lot of people should ask themselves that. And I want to say this, no shade on anybody, because for real, like we have these conversations, and I feel like a lot of these conversations be for ourselves too. I was just speaking to someone today, and I was just letting him know, hey, a lot of our conversations that we have on our podcast has a lot to do with our personal lives. And no, we don't break it down in every detail, but we do give an insight of pretty much, what we have been through. And I
hmm
don't think nobody should be breaking out in detail either, but I'm just saying, like, what we give is valuable.
right.
And I do want to say this, not to throw shade at nobody, but parents do need to do, have a second. Parents that do tell their children, "Hey, marry a rich guy, or marry this, or marry him because he has a big house and a big car, or a Mercedes, a Maserati." Marry him. Like, y'all need to really be rethinking that, because a lot of these unaliving that have been going on is from exactly um people that have a lot of money.
Yep. It's unfortunate too, but you have to do the work yourself. You have to come to these realizations and recognize these things for yourself. But hopefully, if somebody is listening and takes it in and is like, hey, I heard something the other day, and I'm going to share, what I heard. There was always times when I wished, that somebody had given me a heads up about being in a certain situation, or dealings, or different experiences that I was going to go through, as I was entering into my own, after being in my parents' house and being raised by them when I was, like I said, basically on my own and navigating the world for the first time, without them. Um, that's, I think, kind of what we strive to try to do, is to be that voice, to lend that voice of experience, and to share little bits that you can take with you, and hopefully it has some meaning and it lands somewhere that keeps you from making a mistake, or going down a road of having a bad experience that you can ultimately avoid if possible, because we don't want to see anybody go through no craziness. And it's not
Exactly.
worth it at the end of the day. The gifts, the trips, and all that stuff, it's a hefty price that you wind up paying, emotionally, possibly even physically. We didn't even get into the whole emotional abuse and the physical abuse aspect that might be coming in play in some of these situations and scenarios, but that's, a conversation
Oh,
for
that's
another
a
another
whole,
time.
yes, that's
um
a whole nother subject.
but you got to think about that as well. So
That's a whole nother 4 5 hour podcast.
yes.
It goes really deep. And that's what I was saying. Like, nowadays, we're seeing these things happen more and more and more and more. And I'm like, where did we go wrong? Because
Mhm.
society has been painting it like it's okay to use people and just be with people be just because they have a lot of money and they can take care of you. But if those emotions are not there, some of these people will take it to the extreme. if the emotions are not reciprocated, like if you're not in love with this person, you're just with a person for their finances and what they could do for you, that's a very dangerous game to play.
Yes, it is. Very dangerous.
And that's it for today, you guys. I hope everybody has a beautiful, continue to have a good Sunday.
Yes.
And you too, Brenna. And we
Same to
see you
you.
on next Sunday.
Okay. See you guys. Bye.
Peace out.